everyone, Shabby Gamer here, and welcome back to some more of our WWE 2K16 Universe Mode, and this is going to be the Intercontinental for our Global Force Wrestling roster. Now, we'll start by saying, of course, there's going to be no Universe Mode footage in this video. This is just our 8-man tournament to crown our first Intercontinental Champion, but don't worry, we are getting very, very close now. I've only got another 2 Championship tournaments to do after this one, and then our Universe Mode shall be uploaded as of this coming Monday, which is Monday the 16th of November. So not a long wait now, and we should be getting straight into it. But let's have a quick look at the card I've got set for you this evening. Now, I've done very much the same thing we did in our Global Championship tournament. We're going to have split into 4 parts. We've got our Japanese part, which is Nakamura versus Jushin Liger. We're going to have our European part, which is Tommy End, one of my favourite wrestlers. He's taken on Magnus. We're going to have our American part as Johnny Gargano takes on Tommaso Ciampa, and then our Mexican part as Drago takes on Fenix. So without further ado, let's get straight in to our first match. And here is that first match. It's going to be the first part. It's going to be our Japanese part, sorry, of this tournament. It's going to be Shinsuke Nakamura taking on Jushin Liger. And here we go. The first time we've used Shinsuke Nakamura in our 2K16 game. He looks pretty good, I'll give him that. And this is the second one. I did download one already, but this is the second one I've got. I think this one looks a bit more realistic, a bit better, this one. Of course, Jushin Liger is going to be a very heavily utilised guy in this Universe Mode. He's going to be very much used as probably like a legend, I would imagine, though. He's not going to be in the Universe Mode sort of permanently. He's going to sort of pop up here and there. At the moment, of course, he is going to be involved in the Attitude Era Cruiserweight division. He's also going to be involved in NXT randomly every now and again, like he was before in that match they had with Tyler Breeze. So we might do the same sort of thing at some point, bring him in just to put another guy over at a big pay-per-view. Also, we could also use him in Ring of Honor again, just sporadically here and there for a couple of matches. And of course, Global Force Wrestling is probably going to be one of the places where you can see Jushin Liger the most, I would imagine. Of course, you'll see him even more if he wins this competition here this evening. But just as I remember, just for a little bit of fun as this competition starts, just drop down in the comment section below who you think is going to win. I'm going to go for one of my favourite wrestlers, and that is Tommy End. Now, I'm not sure if he will win, but like I say, he's one of my favourite wrestlers, and I really wanted to give him a great opportunity here this evening. I have now managed to get a hold of Michael Dante, his tag team partner, so we'll be having the Sumerian Death Squad in our Universe Mode as well. That's be pretty good. I've actually already recorded the Global Force Wrestling Tag Team Championship. That was the first one I did today because I knew it was going to be the longest one. I really wanted to get the longest one out the way first so we could whiz through the rest of these. The last thing I want to do is record 3 and then get a little bit burnt out, then maybe have to go into the last biggest one. So I thought I'll get the big one out the way first and then plough through all these smaller ones. Of course, the tag team one. The problem is with the tag team one is I managed to edit out about 40 minutes worth of loading screens, and that's with the creator wrestler and the created arenas and things like that. It really does ramp up the time of these competitions. I'm hoping that's not going to be the case when we get into our universe. It probably will be the case getting into our Universe Mode, but it probably won't be so bad. When I'm only having to record 1 video per day, it's not going to be too bad. But at the moment, with doing these competitions all of this week, it's taken me quite a long time. I'm having to record like 3 or 4 episodes a day. Alongside, of course, I'm playing Fallout 4, which came out this week, which I'm really, really enjoying. I've been uploading some of that as well. I don't know if you guys are enjoying that or not, but I'm playing it anyway, so I'm going to keep recording it, I suppose. It's one of my favourite games. It's such a fantastic game, and I suggest it to anybody out there who hasn't got it to get your hands on it. It's a really good game. As you can see, if you want to check out my Fallout 4 playthrough, then of course the playlist is on my channel. I think I've uploaded up to episode 15 at the moment, but I've already recorded 40 episodes. It's so easy to record because there's no real editing to it. You play the game for half an hour, you stop recording, you put it into the editor. I just put the little bit at the end and cut off a little bit of guff at the beginning where I just leave it for a few seconds to make sure it's all set up properly. And we're done. It's so much quicker than doing these 2K16 shows. But of course the 2K16 shows are the ones that... So I've got a bit of a cough. I've got this in the last episode. It's really killing me now. Yeah, the 2K16 wrestling shows are the ones that are really brought my channel up to the sort of level it is now, and I'm really enjoying doing these actually. Most of them are okay. I think the tag team mechanics needs tweaking slightly by 2K, and of course there's still a few glitches. but I'm sure that'll all get ironed out in the long run. But I'm sure once we get into our universe mode, we can finally get some of the storylines on the go. And one thing I'm interested in seeing as well is going to be the what they called, the status effects. That's one of the things I'm interested to see, because that's a new thing in this year, the status effects. So we're going to have to see sort of situations where wrestlers get injured maybe, or that sort of thing, and that's going to be really interesting to see how that works. So of course, as I said in one of my videos already, we're just going to have the 4 championships on Global Force to start things off. We're going to have the Global Championship. We've got the Intercontinental Championship, which is obviously this tournament. We're going to also have the Next Gen title, which is going to be the next one uploaded as well. And then I've already recorded the Global Force Wrestling Tag Team Championships as well. Over the next few weeks, I intend to bring in the Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Championships. I may even try and do it tomorrow. I'm not sure. I got into my mind that we didn't have enough teams to do it, but now I'm starting to think we might be able to squeeze it in. So I'll have to have a look, and if I can do that tomorrow before I start uploading my episodes, I definitely will do. It's something that I've got in my mind. Maybe I can create a couple of tag teams to put in there as well. So it's a possibility that could happen. And there's also one other belt I want to try and bring in, but again, I'm not sure yet if I'm going to have the time to do that. But if I do, I might try and bring that in a bit later on, actually, because there's a whole, not necessarily a storyline, but there's a whole other aspect of what we can do with it. I don't know. I say if I get the time tomorrow, I might do that extra championship tournament. If not, then we'll slowly bring it in. Maybe they can fight for it at the very first pay-per-view, maybe, for Ring of Honor. That's an interesting one. We'll have to see how that pans out, I suppose. So I'll just take a sip of my drink, see if I can clear my throat a little bit. And of course, we did have last year we had Okada and Nakamura as part of Chaos, but this year I've not been able to get a hold of a Jado and Jido core as of yet, so haven't put Chaos together yet. I haven't also got Low Key. That's one thing actually I've noticed. We've got very, very different roster to what we had on 2K15 at the moment. Some people that I never even considered on 2K15 that are on here, and some guys that I really wanted to get hold of 2K15 and they were not available, that I managed to get within the first few days of release of this game, so that's pretty good. I'm trying to give a little bit of everything to anyone. Of course, I've got Attitude Era, we've got some ECW guys, we've got some WCW guys. In Global Force Wrestling, we've got some Japanese guys, we've got some Mexican guys, we've got some of the Americans, we've got some British as well, so I'm just trying to cater to every single audience that could possibly watch, and I'm hoping there's a little bit of something for everybody in this. Great backbreaker there by Jushin Liger. And how can you not download Jushin Liger? Just look how good it looks every single year, and it's very easy to make the make guys in masks look good, especially when 2K give us all the stuff we need to make a Jushin Liger. The horns are on the game and everything. I think already even the paint for Liger's mask is already on the game and everything like that as well. I wonder whether Liger might be someone they might consider putting into the Hall of Fame very soon as well, because obviously they did. I don't think the Hall of Fame is necessarily just for WWE guys or legends anymore. They really sort of grab a hold of anybody. So for what Jushin Liger has done in NJPW and that sort of thing, it wouldn't surprise me. Of course, he did have the match with Tyler Breeze earlier on this year, so it's an excuse to get him back and maybe have another match, maybe even at WrestleMania. How cool would that be? Jushin Liger on the undercard of WrestleMania. That would really help them get over with a Japanese crowd as well. That would really, if Jushin Liger turned up and had a match, like not obviously a main event match, but one of the earlier matches on the card at WrestleMania, maybe like Jushin Liger and Hideo Itami versus somebody or sort of, maybe we could have very similar to the storyline that brought Finn Balor in. Could have Hideo Itami getting attacked by the Ascension, and then Finn Balor bringing in his friend Jushin Thunder Liger for a tag team match at WrestleMania. Just imagine how much that would get over in Japan. It would really be a way for WWE to really build their audience in Japan. That's what they're always trying to do. That's one of the main reasons they brought back Del Rio. It probably is the main reason they brought back Del Rio, is because they had no main Hispanic stars, and they needed that to connect with the Mexican audience. That's why they brought Del Rio back. Pin here by Liger. It's only enough for a 2 count. Remember, as is in all of my tournaments, we do have damage retention switched on for this one. So essentially, you want to try and get through this first round match with as little damage as possible, and of course taking as much stamina and energy through as possible. Or in the case of AJ Styles in our last tournament, taking a finisher through with you. That's something I didn't know was possible, and evidently it is. And if you've not seen the Global Championship tournament, that was the one before this on this playlist, it's definitely worth a watch, because we had a very interesting finish to one of the matches. Something that I didn't know was possible on this game, but that it did happen. And yeah, it's definitely it's made us be able to create a feud straight away. So that's really good. I'm enjoying that. That's we've got our first feud locked in for Global Force Wrestling already. Big shooting star press by Jushin Liger on Nakamura. The referee slowed down, but 1, 2. Oh, and Nakamura kicks out. Beautiful shooting star press, though, by Jushin Liger. You can't take that away from him. That was an incredible move. Both guys slowly back up to their feet, and I think you must have Magnus and Tommy End rubbing their hands together now, sat backstage watching this, seeing both guys going through a lot of damage, and just knowing that they could probably pick off the semi-final opponent pretty easily. But of course, there's no telling how difficult the match between Magnus and Tommy End is going to be. Of course, like I said, Tommy End is going to be involved in the tag team division now as well, alongside Michael Dante as the Sumerian Death Squad. Another great team to have here in Global Force Wrestling, and a team we could probably look to transfer over to Ring of Honor at some point as well. Like I said, I'm struggling with Ring of Honor tag teams at the moment. Some of the ones that I normally go for, like the Wolves, Kazarian and Daniels, they're not actually available on the Community Creations at the moment. I can't even find a decent Michael Elgin as yet. So if you are one of these people that can create these fantastic creator wrestlers, I'm begging you for a really good Davey Richards, a really good Eddie Edwards, a Brian Cage and a Michael Elgin. Just for them 4 guys alone, I would be happy. Great move there by Jushin Liger, and I think Liger's actually taken quite a bit of control in this tournament so far. As you see Nakamura back up to his feet, and Liger with that brainbuster, and Liger could be the Japanese star going through to the semi-final. 1, 2, and 3, and there we go. Jushin Thunder Liger eliminates Shinsuke Nakamura, and that is very interesting for one reason, and I've said this before in a couple of my tournaments now, is that I was sort of hoping that we'd have some fresh champions in this universe mode, and we're going to have another one here this evening because nobody else in this competition apart from Nakamura held the Intercontinental Championship on our 2K15 roster. So we're going to have a brand new champion, which I'm looking forward to seeing who it is going to be. And at this rate, the way that Jushin Liger has been this evening, it could very much be him. He's looking in incredible form here. And I'm just jotting his name down on my piece of paper as going through. I'll tell you what, you guys would be so... you take the mick at me if you've seen what I've done. I've actually gone into Microsoft Excel and I've actually created a template for tournaments. So I've actually got like a big set of brackets set up on a piece of paper that I'm actually keeping in a folder. So say we want to look at it in 6 months' time, I can tell you exactly who defeated who in whatever round because I'll have all the paperwork in my folder. That's how anal I have become to make sure this universe mode is a lot better than 2K15. And that's what we're aiming for. We're aiming for bigger, we're aiming for better, we're aiming for more entertainment, and that's I'm hoping that's what I can give you guys, and I hope you guys stick around as well. I know the game's only just come out and it's a lot of hype still around it, but I'm hoping that hype continues for a very, very long time. And I know guys like Goran Perkins and people like that, they get views all the way through until the release of the new game. They get thousands of views in every single video, and that's what I hope to get towards sooner or later. I know on some of my random matches I'm getting a lot of views, but these title tournaments are getting a good few hundred. But I hope that we can just continue to get that few hundred as we go through into the universe mode. I think especially when we start doing the proper universe mode, I think it'll be a lot better. And here we go with our second first round match. One of my favourite wrestlers, Tommy End, takes on a very depressed looking Magnus. And here we go. And like I said, Tommy End, one of my favourite wrestlers. He's a Dutch wrestler who primarily works in Europe, but he has been on Pro Wrestling Guerrilla quite a bit of recent, as well as working for Evolve as well. He is an absolutely amazing wrestler. I think he's a wrestler, but he's also a trained kickboxer as well. So he does have a lot of really good kicks in his arsenal. So that's something we'll hopefully get a chance to see here in this tournament. And he is somebody that I never saw much of him. And then I went to a Southside Wrestling event and he was on the card there. And just from there on, I've just been obsessed with the guy. He's absolutely fantastic. One of the best matches I ever saw was him versus Davey Richards in a Southside event a couple of years ago now. Their anniversary event, and that was just one of the best matches I think I've ever seen. Definitely the best match I've seen live. It was just incredible. The two guys, the kicks of the pair of them, it was such a stiff match as well. And yeah, I think I've actually seen Tommy End at one point knock a guy out as well with one of his kicks. A spin kick right around the side of the head and just knock the guy flat out. And one thing that I really do want to do at some point is a Tommy End versus Chris Hero feud. or maybe even a championship match between the two guys. That'd be pretty good. Like I said, I have got a Michael Dante call now as well, and that's Tommy End's tag team partner as part of the Sumerian Death Squad. I'm sure there's a lot of you out there that probably know who Tommy End is, but then again, there's probably a lot of guys out there that don't know who Tommy End is as well, and that's one of the things I hope to do with these Universe Mode videos as well, is just to show you guys some of the other wrestlers around the world and just how good some of them are. Of course, there's a lot of guys out there I don't know. I watch a lot of Pro Wrestling Guerrilla, Ring of Honor, and some of the British stuff as well, but some of the stuff like Evolve and stuff like that I don't often get a chance to see. I know there's a few guys in there that are very good, like Timothy Thatcher and people like that, but I've only seen Thatcher wrestle a couple of times, and that was in Pro Wrestling Guerrilla as well. So there's a lot of guys that I'm not really aware of as of yet, but again, it's how we learn, is just watching other people's videos and things like that. But this Tommy End core, I will say, the tattoos are fantastic. Apart from the only slight problem I can see with the tattoo is that the one in his back does go slightly onto his trunks, which is a little bit of a shame. But apart from that, it does look pretty damn good. I love the way they can do with the tattoos now, is that you upload them as a logo and then just put them onto the body, because that tattoo on his back is exactly what he's got. And he's just assaulting Magnus here, and of course Magnus will be involved in the Global Force Wrestling Tag Team Championship competition as well. I know that because, as I mentioned, I've already recorded it, so keep an eye out for that. He does tag up with his former partner in TNA, Bram. Now, Bram was someone I wasn't going to bring into the Universe Mode, but after having a chat with Jay, we've come up with some pretty good ideas to what to do with Bram, and that will come apparent as we go further into the Universe Mode. But for now, he's going to be teaming up with Magnus in Global Force Wrestling. And it is a shame, like I mentioned, I've got Michael Dante now, but I only managed to get Michael Dante after I'd recorded the Global Force Wrestling Tag Team Tournament. So, unfortunately for you Tommy End fans out there, we won't be seeing the Sumerian Death Squad in that tournament. However, there's a good chance we might see them going for the championships in the near future. Of course, we've got quite a few tag teams now. I just don't know if we've got enough junior heavyweight tag teams to do the competition that I was mentioning earlier on, but I'm going to try and see if I can do it tomorrow. We've got people like the Young Bucks, we've got Motor City Machine Guns, we've got Los Cazadores. I can probably put together a couple of extra teams as well. I'm thinking Marty Skull and Zack Sabre Jr. can work as a junior heavyweight tag team as well. So I think there might be the possibility of doing it, but like I said, I'll have to see if I can plan it in for tomorrow. I've got quite a lot to record tomorrow as it is anyway, of course. We're going to have our first episode of Monday Night Raw I need to record tomorrow, as well as all the introduction episodes as well. But I think there's a good chance that I could get it done. It's a good chance I could get it done. Again, it's going to depend on if I've got enough teams to do it as well. So it's very dependent, but hopefully keep an eye on this channel that we should be able to get that uploaded tomorrow. And there's another tournament as well I'm looking to maybe do, but I'm not sure. It depends how it depends. I'm struggling at the moment whether it should go ahead or not, because it's essentially, I'll tell you what it is. Essentially, I was looking at doing a Ring of Honor Junior Heavyweight Championship, so adding an extra belt for sort of like the cruiserweights on the Ring of Honor roster, and I just don't think there's enough guys on the Ring of Honor roster to fill a tournament itself. So I was going to add a few guys in, but they're not guys that would normally work for Ring of Honor, so I don't know whether you guys would like to see that or not, or what. We'll be adding guys like Andrew Everett, or guys like AR Fox, guys like Mark Andrews. Of course, we've got guys like Brian Kendrick and Paul London that can be in that championship tournament. Kenny Omega's going to be working on Ring of Honor anyway, so there is a possibility that that's not going to be a major problem, but we'll have to see. I think I might get enough time to do both of them belts tomorrow. If I do, then we'll get them uploaded for you before we do our big first episode of WWE. Now, I think I'm still uploading more episodes as we speak. I think I'm getting all the Ring of Honor uploaded. Apart from the Tag Team Championship Tournament, that's not been uploaded as yet. And I don't think that's going to be uploaded until probably after these Global Force Wrestling ones. The main reason for that is that I haven't done it yet. That's the main reason. And it's only because I thought to myself early this morning, I thought I must do Ring of Honor Tag Team Championship first, then do all of Global Force Wrestling. But I didn't know if I'd have enough time, because I've been recording all day now, and it's 9:10 in the evening, and I've still got to do the Next Gen Championship as well. So that's going to take me close to midnight, I think, and then I've got to edit the videos and get them ready to upload as well. So I'm going to be going at this for quite a while, and I thought to myself, well, Ring of Honor isn't until Thursday, so I've got until Thursday to upload the Tag Team Championship and the the introduction video and, of course, our episode of Ring of Honor. So I thought to myself, Global Force gets uploaded on Tuesday. I need to make sure all of those tournaments are done and uploaded, ready to go. So that's why I've sort of left Ring of Honor's Tag Team Championship till the end. Hopefully I'll get it uploaded tomorrow night as well. That's dependent on how much time I get, but that's something I should hopefully get done, because I still need to set up a few things with the Universe Mode to make sure it's good to go as well. Big superplex by Magnus to the outside on Tommy End. Referee starting to count, and that's a high impact move and dangerous for Magnus as well, because he's done a lot of damage to Tommy End there. But should Magnus go through, he's done a lot of damage to himself, because he's dropped a good 6-7 foot himself to the ground. Tommy End, a big right hand, and I'm so happy to have Tommy End on this game. Two wrestlers that I really wanted to have on this game were Tommy End and Andrew Everett. Two guys that I tried for ages to get hold of last year, and I could not get either of them. But I've got them both this year. And of course Drago as well was somebody I really wanted, but I couldn't find a decent core for him. But this year I've managed to get a really good one as well, as you'll see later on. But this year with the new creative wrestlers and the face scanning and stuff like that, some people are creating the most obscure wrestlers. Like, somebody's created Grado, and I'm a really big fan of Grado. He's a fantastic comedy wrestler, and I have downloaded him. We will be seeing him as part of our Global Force Wrestling brand. As Tommy End here going for the double foot stomp. Oh, great move. In for the pin. 1, 2. And Tommy End is going through to the semi-finals to face Jushin Liger. My pick here is looking good. So I'm a massive Tommy End fan, and this core is very good. The moveset is very good as well, and I'm really happy with how it's going so far. I'm trying my hardest not to show favouritism, but you heard how excited I was then when Tommy End made it through to the semi-finals. Of course, he's got a very difficult match against Jushin Thunder Liger to come yet, so I wouldn't get too far ahead of ourselves. But he could do pretty damn well here, you know. This is that big superplex by Magnus, and this is probably not the best idea. He did do a lot of damage to Tommy End here, but at the same time, look how far Magnus drops to the outside as well. That can't be very good for his own back. And that was probably shown later on as Tommy End... see him sliding out of that power slam there, boot to the back, and now a lot of reversals on the outside. Both guys slid back in. And this is a bit of a random replay. Oh, there we go. There's a Northern Light suplex by Tommy End. That was only for a 2 count. And as you see, Tommy End up onto the top rope. And here he comes with that double foot stomp. And he just looks so good the way he does it as well. It looks exactly how he does it in real life. Don't put your sign up, love. Put it down. There we go. We're going to see it. There's that big double foot stomp. Just stomping right on the chest of Magnus, and there it is, the 3 count. Well done to Tommy End. He's going through to the semi-finals to face off against the Japanese legend that is Jushin Thunder Liger. And could I actually get another one of my guesses correct? They've been very, very few and far between so far, but you don't know, there's a possibility. And see, just before I press exit on this, that's the only issue I have with this core, and it's such a small one. You see the tattoo on his side. It's just gone onto his trunks, but I think I can fix that myself in the creation screen, so that's not a major problem. And here we go with our third first round match this evening. It's going to be Johnny Gargano taking on Tommaso Ciampa. And here we go, and this is going to be an interesting one, this, because both of these guys obviously fighting out to represent Team America, if you forgive the pun, in the semi-finals here this evening in our Intercontinental Championship tournament. But they're both going to be also working as a tag team, not only here in Global Force Wrestling and in also Ring of Honor as well, but they're both going to be working as a tag team for NXT. And now, I've spoken about it before, and they're not officially signed up for NXT yet, but they are working a lot of the taping. So when they do officially get signed up, then we'll move them away from both Global Force Wrestling and Ring of Honor and have them officially with NXT. But until then, they will continue to work all 3 rosters at the same time. But it's pretty good because it gives us 2 extra guys on Global Force Wrestling and on Ring of Honor, as well as an extra tag team as well. So it's going to be a very interesting one to see. Of course, Johnny Gargano doesn't normally work for Ring of Honor, but I thought he'd be quite a good guy to add to the roster, just to help bolster it up a little bit, because it is looking like the smallest roster out of all the other shows we've got at the moment. got the current day roster and Attitude Era. We've got about 65, 70 people on each of the rosters, so it's pretty damn big. And of course, as soon as we get the downloadable content download as well, those are going to be even bigger. And I'm really looking forward to downloadable content because it is really going to help us boost the Attitude Era, NXT, and Retro rosters up by a few more guys and a few more tag teams as well. I'm not quite sure when the downloadable content's due out. I think based on 2K15, I believe it was one was the end of November, one was the end of December, and one was the end of January. Not quite sure if that's what we're going to do again this year, but it sort of makes sense. You don't want to have the downloadable content coming out too late into the future. I'm just sort of hoping that the NXT is one of the first ones, but I've got a feeling it's going to be the last one. I don't know. Of course, when they did the videos, I think the very first one was one that we're going to use for the Attitude Era, really. I say the one we're going to use the Attitude Era, it does involve... it involves Rowdy Roddy Piper. It involves... I can't remember who's on the downloadable content, actually. It's Piper. I know that. It was... Well, Dusty Rhodes is in the other set. Piper, Mr. Perfect, I think, as well. Of course, it involves Lita and Trish as well. So that's 2 women we can add to our Attitude Era roster. And as soon as we get the Attitude Era roster women, we will then bring in the Women's Championship. Of course, we've got Stephanie McMahon down there already as part of DX. So she could be involved in that. Of course, she's not going to be a great women's wrestler, but she'll probably end up with getting help at ringside from Triple H in the Women's Championship matches. That's a possibility. And of course, we will have Trish and Lita down as well. Lita will be working alongside the Hardy Boys, and maybe Trish could work alongside a tag team as well. Maybe the Dudley Boys. I think Trish might have actually managed the Dudley Boys for a short amount of time. I know she managed Test and Albert for quite a long time, but I think she might have actually managed the Dudley Boys for a short amount of time. I might be wrong there. But we want to really use those 2 women as much as we possibly can, so having a Women's Championship title is probably going to be the best way for it. But of course, there's not many women we've got available. Of course, when we get Alundra Blaze as well, she'll be involved in the... we're going to have her in the Attitude Era roster as well, so that's going to be 4 women on the game. I think if I download Victoria, who I've already seen on the Community Creations, who looks pretty damn good, and there's an Ivory on there as well, so that could put us up to 6 women. That'll give us a pretty decent women's division on Attitude Era. Of course, I would like to have women's divisions in Global Force Wrestling and Ring of Honor as well, but there's just not enough downloader wrestler space to be able to do that and to keep the men's roster the size it is as well. So it's a shame, really, but I would really like to do that. But well, like I say, it's a shame. If 2K have listened, then please give us 200 cores for next year, because I will use 200 cores easily. I don't think they will. I think we'll get to another 100 next year. But like I say, I would easily use 200 in 2K17. Gargano with a pin here. 1, 2. It's only a 2 count. 2K16 DLC. Okay. I'm just going to click on DLC and see what happens. Let's see. I've already bought the season pass, so I will get the DLC on the day it comes out. Unlike last year where I didn't get it. And that means I couldn't get Paige last year, which was really annoying. Let's just see who is on the DLC. I can't remember now. Right, so it's showing the first DLC is... It's showing it as the retro one. I don't know if I'm right there or not. There we go, yeah. DLC offering significant emphasis on Legends, both enshrined in the Hall of Fame and being added to 2K16 roster, as well as newly announced people for the showcase. The Legends pack will include Big Boss Man, Dusty Rhodes, Lita, Mr. Perfect, Roddy Piper, and Trish Stratus. So I think that's going to be the first pack released. The second pack will probably be the 2K Showcase one, which is going to be Macho Man Randy Savage versus Jake Roberts, Rikishi versus The Rock, Alundra Blaze versus Paige, Larry Zbyszko and Arn Anderson versus Ricky Steamboat and Dustin Rhodes. I thought that was Dusty Rhodes and Dustin Rhodes. Oh, I might be wrong there then. The Bushwhackers versus the Natural Disasters is going to be good as well. That's an extra 2 tag teams for our retro roster. And of course the Outsiders, Kevin Nash and Scott Hall versus Harlem Heat, Booker T and Stevie Ray. That's be pretty good, as well as Champa with a pin again, only for a 2 count. Then of course we get our Future Stars pack, which is going to be the of course the NXT one. That's going to be Blake and Murphy. You've also got Samoa Joe, of course, and Los Matadors. So probably won't use quite a lot of them. Does it say when? Doesn't say when the actual DLC is getting released still. That's a bit... I don't know, that's a bit strange, because I'm sure last year we actually got told before the game come out exact dates for release. But let me just Google release schedule, see if it does actually come up with anything maybe. It just says late 2015, so it begins releasing late 2015, but then again the game was released late 2015. It doesn't, it's quite a big open gap, is that. Leaves quite a broad spectrum, but like I say, I'm assuming we're going to get one towards the end of November, one towards the end of December, then one towards the end of January. That's going to be my guess. Does it say on here? As Champa picks up the victory, as I'm chatting away here, Champa wins this match, beating Johnny Gargano, and Ciampa's going through for a chance to face off for that Intercontinental Championship later on this evening. I'm sorry, I'm still looking to see if I can find out when the DLC is actually announced, or it's been announced, of course, when it's actually released. La-di-la-di-la, la-di-la-di-la, la-di-la-di-la. It doesn't actually say at all. Does not say anywhere when it's actually going to get released. If you know when the downloadable content is going to be released, let me know in the comment section below. Even if there's like a link to it or something like that, that'd be absolutely great. But like I say, at the moment, there's no actual release date for the DLC. Oh, there you go. I've actually just found a website that actually states there's no release date stated yet for the DLC. So that's well, at least I've not missed it then. That's a strange one then. Like I said, last year they actually announced the release dates for the DLC before the game was actually released. That's a bit of a strange one, but well, there you go. It's not a major problem, I suppose, is it really? We'll get it when we get it, but it'd be nice to get it as soon as possible. Like I said, as soon as we do, then we can start to have a women's division in the Attitude Era, and it just helps us bolster our other rosters as well. There's a big DDT by Ciampa. Was that the move he used to finish the match? I didn't even see the end of the match. I saw the pin, but I didn't actually see what move he used. It might have been that DDT. Referee's so slowed down in this game. He really is. It was that big DDT that got Ciampa the victory. Now Ciampa will face off against the winner of our Mexican quarter of the bracket. That's going to be the winner of our next match, Drago versus Fenix. Let's see who that's going to be. While I go for a wee. And here is our fourth of the first round matches. Our last first round match is going to be Drago taking on Fenix. And here we go. Two Mexican stars here from Lucha Underground. It's great to see a pretty good Drago this year. It was a difficult one to find last year. Of course, we found a pretty damn good Fenix towards the end of the Universe mode. You know what, I like this Fenix, but at the same time, there's something about it I'm not overly keen. I think his tattoos are a bit too dark. I think they need to be a bit more transparent, but I'll have a look and see if I can find anything that's a bit more. I'll tell you what, this match has started off at such the right pace. Two big high flyers here, and it's really going to... That's the best thing about this this Global Force Wrestling brand, because we've got some sort of Japanese strong style, we've got some Mexican lucha libres, we've got some... British and European style wrestling in there, as well as the normal American style that everyone's sort of used to. It's really going to give us a much more varied sort of show. It's really going to have a lot of mixed styles, especially when we start to mix some of the styles up as well. Of course, I've done these championship tournaments as sort of Mexican, European, Japanese, American, just in the first rounds, just to make sure we get a fair representation of every sort of type of wrestling in there. But now, when we get into the actual Global Force Wrestling Amps shows, we're gonna mix the styles up. We want to see how these teams, or how these wrestlers really act against each other. Of course, at some point, as suggested by Jay, we are looking at maybe doing a World Cup in Global Force Wrestling, as like TNA used to do. So we'd split it sort of America, maybe split it like a North America. Oh, so I was gonna say North America then Mexico, but Mexico's in North America. It's a bit of a stupid one. We could do America versus Mexico versus Europe versus Japan. That's a possibility, something we could definitely do. Of course, it would probably take place over a few days once again, but it'd be a pretty good little format to do, and it just keeps it interesting. We want to try and have some, not necessarily loads of gimmick pay-per-views, but at the same time, we want to try and have some varied things where it's not just a normal pay-per-view every single time. We want to see a little bit of difference here and there. And by doing things like the G1 Climax and the best of the Super Juniors, or the best of the Super Junior tag teams and tag wars and all that sort of thing, it's really going to help us really vary a lot of the universe mode and try and keep it fresh the whole way through until 2K17, because that's what I intend to do. I intend to record it up until that date. I intend to do it until then. Like I say, we're definitely going to get to WrestleMania this year. We're definitely going to get full years worth of universe mode out. But then we'll have to have a look, and if you guys are still enjoying it, then we'll definitely carry on going. If you guys have lost interest, then we might look at doing something different. There's the Spanish fly there by Fenix on Drago. And I think both of these guys were wrestlers that I myself, and probably a lot of other people that watch Lucha Underground, instantly sort of fell in love with. They're absolutely fantastic in the ring. Drago's gimmick is just immense. It really is. And just his attire just looks absolutely fantastic. I don't think the attire that's on the game here does real justice to what his real attire is. Are we going to see a dive here? Looks like we might. Or maybe not. Drago. Oh, great move there. I like some of these new animations they put in. It really does vary up a bit, and it just shows how different styles in the ring create much different matches, because this has been a much more high-paced, a much more aerial assault type of match than anything we've seen so far this evening. And I'm really looking forward to getting into this universe mode now, and just like I said earlier, just pitting some of these styles against each other. Maybe the likes of Drago versus Mil Muertes is a big one, but when you start to mix some of the actual styles up as well, such as maybe putting one of these Mexican guys against a strong style wrestler like Shinsuke Nakamura or something on them sort of lines, is really going to help us just really vary and make it a lot more interesting. There's the pin by Fenix on Drago. It's only for a 2 count. Remember, the winner of this one will go on to face Tommaso Ciampa in our semi-final for a chance to fight it out in the final for the Intercontinental Championship. Ooh, I burped while I was speaking then. That's a bit unprofessional of me, isn't it? But there you go. I'm not professional. I don't earn anywhere near enough money to make this my full-time job as yet. I doubt I'll ever get up to that sort of point where you can make this into a full-time sort of job. There are guys out there like I really like watching a guy called Sips. Sips does some really sort of interesting stuff. He plays a lot of games that I like to play. That's probably why we have a very similar style of games that we like, and he does it for a living. He gets about 100 to 200,000 views on every single video he uploads. That's probably the sort of level of money you need, or the certain level of views you'd need to make this a full-time occupation. And I would like to do that. I really would. If I could live on just playing computer games for my job, that'd be absolutely amazing. Drago, big boot to the back of the head of Fenix. Is that going to be enough to put Drago through to the semis? 1, 2. No, it's not. Fenix kicks out. Drago cannot believe it, but Fenix kicks out. Drago now with a neck breaker on Fenix, and Drago is really starting to take control of this match. There are some knobheads around, aren't there? I've been sat in this chair all day at my desk in my living room now, recording these videos, and they put roadworks outside my flat, and it's raining as well. I'm ground floor, right in the middle of the right on the road. There it is. Drago has won. I will continue my rant now, actually, because we're going to see the replays, aren't we? Yeah, there's roadworks right outside my front window, my flat, and literally I'm right on the road. I've got no real garden, and they put roadworks right outside. It's been raining all day, and all I've been hearing all day is people doing wheel spins as the light goes green. That's all people do. I don't know why. What's the point? What's the point? The light's just gone green. What are you going to gain by doing a wheel spin? I don't know if people are not doing it on purpose. They might be doing it by mistake or something like that because of how wet it is outside. But all I've heard all day is wheel spins constantly. I don't know if these people think they look good or not. I ain't got a clue. But this is one of the new little bits I like about the game. You see this, look, Fenix lining Drago up for a dive. And we don't get to see it. Oh, come on, game. That was a really good part of the match, that was. Whoa, something just flew past my window like 50 miles an hour. Bloody hell. And there's a big boot to the back of the head. That was the second one. Was that the first one by Drago? I think that might be the first one. That was only for a 2 count, of course. See, Fenix kicks out. But then I'm not quite sure how Drago got 2 finishes. That's the best thing I like about the fact that I've switched everything off. I've switched off the HUD. So I don't know if anyone's got any injuries. I don't know if anyone's got any signatures or finishing maneuvers. It is completely out of the blue, all of these sort of moves. I really like that. I've watched a few other people's universe modes, and they keep some of the HUDs on, and it gets a bit... I don't want to know if somebody's got a finisher, because then instantly you've sat there thinking, well, he's going to use his finisher now. he's going to use his catch finisher, or he's going to do this, or he's going to do that, and it sort of ruins it slightly. But to have it all blank like that really helps just add to it. And I do like this Drago. The mask is not 100% perfect, but I do really like it. It'd be great if he could paint his chin, as you can see from this angle, but it does look pretty good. We'll keep him. He's one of my favourite Mexican wrestlers at the moment, so we'll definitely keep him. Well, let's have a quick look at the brackets before we get into our semi-finals. Of course, we're going to see Jushin Liger facing off against Tommy End, and we're also going to see Tommaso Ciampa taking on Drago. And here we go, that first semi-final. It's Jushin Thunder Liger versus Tommy End. And here we go with this first semi-final. Of course, Jushin Liger defeated Shinsuke Nakamura to make it here, and Tommy End defeated Magnus. So both these guys have really done well to get to this point, and Jushin Liger taking Tommy End out, but I was going to say End caught him with a kick, but Liger manages to fight back with that trip. Liger now bringing End back up to his feet. End did go through a very difficult match against Magnus, which involved being superplexed to the outside. And that could come back to haunt him here as he gets caught in the Liger bomb. And this could be all. Liger rolls End over into the pin. 1, 2, 3. I tell you what, the last few tournaments I've done, the semi-finals and finals have just been so quick. I'm not quite sure why. I think it's because the first round matches are lasting a bit longer. Well, yes, we're up to about 56 minutes on this video now. Obviously, I'm going to cut a chunk of that out for loading screens, but yeah, those first round matches have taken out of everyone, and it's a shame for me to say, since he is my favourite wrestler, Tommy End has been eliminated from this competition. This is a sad day for all of us. But he'll definitely be getting a lot more chances in Global Force Wrestling's Universe mode. Like I said, he is a guy that I really like. His tag team partner Michael Dante is here now as well. So there's no reason why Tommy End can't be involved in every level of Global Force Wrestling. The Tag Team Division, Intercontinental Championship Division, and of course the main event tag team, the main event division, you know what I mean. He's going to be involved everywhere. I can't even talk now. And here we go with the second of our semi-finals. It's Tommaso Ciampa taking on Drago. And here we go. Who's going to be facing off against Jushin Thunder Liger in our main event here this evening for the Intercontinental Championship here in Global Force Wrestling? Would it be Tommaso Ciampa or Drago? It's interesting. It really is. As I said, the only person in this competition from the beginning who had ever held the Intercontinental Championship in our Universe mode was, of course, Shinsuke Nakamura. So we're going to have a brand new, fresh champion once again. We're having quite a lot of them in our Universe mode. I'm really happy about that, because it is really giving us a fresh start for everything in 2K16, which is really good. As I said, I want to make sure that 2K16 is just at a level above anything else I've brought to you before. 2K15 was just the starting point, and now, of course, we're going to try and continue to work to make it better. And hopefully, with the release of 2K16, we can really do that. Of course, not only have I gone up a game, I've also changed the platform we're working on as well. So not only have we gone from 2K15 to 2K16, we've also gone from PS3 to PS4. So hopefully that's going to give us a much better time here as well. Probably less crashes, I should imagine, because the system is stronger and able to power it all. As Champa with a pin and Drago kicks out. I still can't believe Jushin Liger destroyed Tommy End as quickly as he did. I know Tommy End was caught with that big superplex off the top to the outside by Magnus. A very big, dangerous move which affected Magnus just about as much as it affected I forgot his name, Tommy End as well, which led to Magnus actually being eliminated. But still, the damage it had done to Tommy End transferred through to that match against Jushin Liger, and Jushin Liger just picked Tommy End to pieces. Champa with Drago up on his shoulders, slams him down. Is that going to be enough to put him through to the final? There's the pin. 1, 2, and 3. It is Tommaso Ciampa versus Jushin Thunder Liger is going to be our match here this evening for the Global Force Wrestling Intercontinental Championship. As we see just a few of the highlights, I don't think there's going to be many. Again, it was quite a short match. There's that big spiked DDT by Champa, which he used to win the match against Johnny Gargano earlier. I'm actually thinking now whether Tommaso Ciampa's moveset is actually on the game correct. That's something I'll have to check I'm sure we've seen in one of the other competitions him use the powerbomb onto the knee, so I'm pretty sure he is. Of course, we've already seen him a couple of times in NXT competitions and in Ring of Honor ones. Ciampa's somebody we've seen quite a lot so far in these tournaments. And again, you'll be seeing quite a lot of him in the Universe mode as he is working for Global Force, Ring of Honor and NXT all at the same time. So he's going to be in 3 of the 6 shows throughout the week. And there was the pinfall there with that big slam. And we're going to see Ciampa again next, facing off against Jushin Thunder Liger for the Global Force Wrestling Intercontinental Championship. And here we go with our final match here this evening. It's Jushin Thunder Liger versus Tommasso Ciampa for the Intercontinental Championship. And here we go, and since this is a championship match, we are going to see the entrances here this evening of our 2 finalists. And here he comes, our first finalist. It is Jushin Thunder Liger. Somebody who, as I said, is going to be involved in several places in this Universe mode. Mainly going to be here in Global Force Wrestling and, of course, in our Attitude Era as well, because he's going to be part of the Cruiserweight Championship division there, which is pretty damn good. Oh, his cape completely consumed. That's an interesting one. That sort of means that the capes are completely unique, because I've seen an entrance for Jushin Liger already, and the cape got completely tangled up in a different way. So it just shows that the capes and things like that do act differently at every single time. And now we're going to see the entrance here of Tommasso Ciampa. The first time I've seen the entrance, so hopefully it's going to be okay, because I've not actually checked it, to the honest truth. But we'll soon find out. Here he is. It does look actually pretty good. It's right for the moment. The Sicilian psychopath Tommasso Ciampa making his way down to the ring. And Ciampa has a great opportunity here to pick up the first championship he's had in any of my Universe modes. He didn't pick up a single championship in 2K15. I think he had opportunities at the television championship in Ring of Honor on a couple of occasions. I'm not quite sure what this entrance is with this whole writing stuff in the air. Or whatever it is, he underlines it at the end. I've got no idea. Quite a few people have got that entrance set. This might actually be just a standard entrance that everybody gets on the game. I'm not entirely sure, to tell the truth. But it does suit him to a point without the obviously shaking the hand in a rude gesture and then making the writing. It does look like a pretty good. And there is the belt they're fighting for, the Intercontinental Championship here in Global Force Wrestling. It does look pretty good. I think even a novice like me can make a half decent looking belt in this game. It really, the championship creation is one big massive improvement that they have made this game. Jushin Liger looks like he could walk straight through Tommasso Ciampa here as well. He dominated the game. He dominated the match against Tommy End, and End had no chance. And it looks like he started again here on absolute massive momentum, and Liger could pick up the championship here without really any resistance from Tommasso Ciampa. Now Liger taking Ciampa up. There's the Liger bomb, and this could be all. Liger could, I think he's going to do it, you know. Rolls Ciampa over into the pin. 1, 2. He's done it. He's actually done it. Jushin Thunder Liger has defeated Shinsuke Nakamura, Tommy End, and Tommasso Ciampa to become our first Global Force Wrestling Intercontinental Champion. And he's going to be a very good champion, don't be wrong. He is a Japanese legend. To have him as our first champion here in Global Force Wrestling is really going to be a great advantage, really. Of course, he will be defending that belt very soon on, I should imagine. Not quite sure yet who he's going to face for that belt, but definitely something we can do. We'll have to have a look and see who is available. And there he is, handed the Global Force Wrestling Intercontinental Championship. Holds it high above his head. I'm not going to talk for too long because I know it's a very short celebration. The celebration always cuts me off while I'm talking. It always does. But there is the confirmation that Jushin Liger defeated Shinsuke Nakamura, Tommy End, and Tommasso Ciampa to be our first ever Global Force Wrestling Intercontinental Champion here on WWE 2K16. I'm getting very close now to getting all these tournaments done. It's been such a long week for me to get these all done, but I've only got one left now, and that is the Global Force Wrestling Next Gen Championship. And then there's a couple of extra ones that are just add-ons, ones that I've not really told you guys too much about, but I do want to try and do if I get the time tomorrow. But yes, we are getting there now. We're getting to a point where we can successfully start to upload our normal weekly shows as we were doing with 2K15. Of course, that's going to be great when that starts. We're going to have WWE on this coming Monday, so mark that in your calendars. The 16th of November, we'll have our first episode of Monday Night Raw uploaded. And then, of course, it's going to be Global Force Wrestling on a Tuesday, NXT on a Wednesday, Ring of Honor on a Thursday, Attitude Era on that Friday night, and, of course, Saturday will be our Retro roster. And, of course, if you have liked this video, then be sure to hit that thumbs up button. It does really help me out. And, of course, hit that thumbs up button for Jushin Liger being the champion. And, of course, all, again, the creator wrestlers in this competition, they all look fantastic. Tommy End is somebody who I think looks really good, and we'll definitely be seeing a lot more of him in this universe mode as well. If you're not already, be sure to subscribe, because like I said, I will be uploading daily 2K16 footage all the way until probably the release of 2K17. I'm not entirely sure yet, but that's more likely going to be the case. I've not got much else for life. This is all I really do. So, yeah, enjoy it. Yeah, I've been Shabby Gamer. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all in the Next Gen Championship Tournament, which should be uploaded next.